Welcome back to Harmon Speaks. Glad to have you back here. Tonight we're going to have a really good show with somebody who's actually my friend. I call all my guests my friend, but you actually are.
He's my friend. Absolutely.
I have to be your friend because she made me wear a Santa Claus uniform, and yeah, I got to like you to do that. Mm-hmm. Although she was unable to get me to do an Easter Bunny. Thank you, God. But anyway, I'm not doing the Easter Bunny. I'm sorry. But anyway, this is Julie. And you may remember Julie was on our show about a year ago, I guess. Wasn't it? A year? More?
It was more. A few years ago now.
2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I have no concept of time, and I'm sorry. She was on here with her son, Ryker, and we learned a lot about Ryker. I'm going to ask Neil to post a picture or two of him to remind you. And let me cover the bad news first. Let me say that Ryker is no longer with us. And that breaks my heart because Julie with Ryker was one of the most beautiful mother-child images I've ever seen in my life. And that's when we became friends. I was just really overwhelmed. I had a great mother of my own, so mothers mean a lot to me. Tell us a little bit about the challenge Ryker faced and tell me why we've lost him.
So one of the hardest things is when you have a special needs child, especially nonverbal, mm-hmm. you become their voice. You know, as any mom, when you start out with a baby, you don't know what they want. They can't talk to you.
Sure.
But you bond with them, so you learn their needs and how to deal with that, how to communicate and what they want and how to help them. So Ryker got diagnosed with cancer when he was 2. Mm-hmm. Nobody wanted to help him because he had such severe deficits. So a lot of people, they would consider him to be a term I hate, vegetative state. Okay. Absolutely not true for him.
Right.
You know, when you take a child that is so sick and just pumped with chemo, any person isn't going to be able to do a lot.
Of course.
So we were told, we just don't see the quality for him to give him a liver.
What arrogance.
It's ridiculous.
I know. I don't understand how a medical professional can determine whether somebody is
someone's quality of life.
Right.
Who's worthy.
Right. I mean, who's worthy? I don't know the answer to that, but I don't know how anybody would make that call.
Well, it was devastating because, you know, he comes down with cancer, and it took a while for us to figure out because everybody's like, he's just fussy. And as a mom, no, he's not. Something's wrong.
Right.
You know, so it took a while for us to get the diagnosis. And then when we got it, we started researching, and they said, yeah, a liver transplant can cure it.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, then let's go after that. Well, it does cure it, but not for your son. You know, your son is not a patient that we can do a transplant on due to we just don't want to waste a liver on someone that doesn't have any quality.
Wow.
So we fought. We went all over the country making phone calls, trying to find someone to see Ryker.
Right.
And we had home videos of just our kids playing together with him pushing buttons, walking in his little walker, being who I knew, my Ryker. You know, and we just needed someone to not see what's on a piece of paper, but to see the person, to see the little boy.
Right.
And, you know, when you talk about someone's quality to life, he was happy. Mm-hmm. He was loved. Right. He did a lot in 5 years.
Right.
You know, he had a lot of quality to a 5-year life. Some people don't have, you know, the ability that he had to make a difference. So we went to UPMC in Pittsburgh, and the doctors there saw him, you know, saw Ryker being Ryker, and decided to give him a chance.
Okay.
And after that, we had Ryker for about 3 years.
Okay.
The cancer came back.
Right.
And at that point, as a lot of times with cancer, it just goes all over, and there wasn't anything we could do to save Ryker.
Okay.
But for 5 years, that was what it was about, was being his voice and telling people, don't see a disability, see Ryker, see my kid.
Right.
You know, he was funny.
Right.
You know, he loved to dance around. Like, he would dance around the living room with Mom in his walker. I'd have him walk to me as we would play music. And You know, Safety Dance
Right.
was his favorite song. And he just laughed so hard with that, you know. Certain cartoons that he would watch with his sister, routines of holidays, all the, you know, all the things that you do with any child.
Right.
You could do it with him. It just looked a little different.
Right.
You know? So it's super heartbreaking when he passed away because, like, he was my world. We were so connected that I didn't do anything without him. Like, our days would be, you know, our normal schedule of just being us.
Right.
And he taught me a lot because before Ryker, I had an understanding of special needs and disabilities, but there's nothing like being a mom and what you'll do for your kid.
Right. Tell me some things he taught you.
He taught me to look at people deeper.
Okay.
One of the things I think that's a huge misconception that we get into is don't stare. You're taught that as a child. Don't stare, don't ask questions, it's rude.
Right. Especially the questions.
Yeah.
Right.
And we encouraged that with Ryker.
Right.
You know, as we would learn things. I mean, we don't stand for everybody. We stood for Ryker.
Right.
Ryker's disability. So I can't speak for anybody else's. But for him, it's like, ask us. Come talk to him. Come play with him. You know, we slow down because things that matter to a lot of people, like getting stuck in traffic, you know, it's like, okay, that's not the worst thing that could happen today. Hearing your son's going to die. It's pretty rough.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And as awful as it sounds, it's basically what I measure the worst. That was the worst day of my life.
Right.
And that's what I measure anything. Is it that bad?
Right.
You know, with my husband, we'll talk about that. And I'm like, is it losing your son bad? Or is it just a sucky day? Because you see things differently.
Sure.
You know?
Right.
He was such a light. And it was interesting to watch other people interact with him. And I would always say, if they call him James, they're not our friend. You know, we walk into a doctor's office and they call him James, he is a patient. They will walk in and out. We will have to fight to get anything we need. If they call him Ryker, then they're a friend. They're here to help us. They're a good doctor that's fighting with us instead of against us. You know, just cues with that you learn to look at other people and see how they see others. You know, to watch him play with his sister and to have the gift that he passed on with her, the compassion and the understanding that she has. And it's funny because ever since she was little, you know, she'd just walk up to people and we'd be going in the hospital to go to Ryker's room or whatever. And she'd, what's wrong with your kid? People would always give us that weird look, especially if he wasn't with us. And I'm like, she wants to know how to play with your child. You know, she's not asking in a rude way. She's asking because, oh, okay, your kid's got a trait, so maybe they can't talk. Can they sign? You know, can I push them in their wheelchair? I mean, you know, she wasn't afraid of any type of medical condition. Because she learned to see the person too.
Right. I've witnessed this firsthand, so I know this to be true. If you remember a couple of days ago, she came up to me and she pointed and she said, what's that? And I said, that's my hand. And she said, okay. And she was looking. And I said, this is my thumb, this is my pinky, and I can pinch. And she giggled, no fear, no worry, just, okay, just wanted to know. And off she went. So congratulations on that. That's an amazing thing. Most children I've met go screaming once I start moving anything, you know, oh, it's a monster.
Well, I mean, I think it's important because, you know, a lot of times people look at people with a disability like, oh, what a sad story.
Right.
Oh, that's this, that, and the other. And I had so many people tell me that with Ryker. Julie, you're a really good person. I'm really sad that that happened to you. And I'm like, my son was one of the best things that ever happened in my life. You know, there was nothing sad about it. I mean, I would take away anything that was wrong with him if I could because nobody wants their child to suffer.
Of course.
But who he was so amazing, and I'm so glad that I got to be his mom.
Sure.
And I got to experience just the strength and resilience that a child can go through, you know, that can poked and prodded and chemo and still sit there and smile. You know, still scoot over, wiggle, just to be able to cuddle with Sissy.
Very nice. Okay. Now, you have decided to become more of an activist now in your life. Tell me a little bit about what you're doing now.
So I felt really lost after Ryker, I felt like I lost my place in this world. Like I said, we were so connected, and that connected me to special needs community.
Okay.
Everything went away. My whole world went away.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, where do you go from there?
Right.
Who was I before Ryker? Do I want to be that person anymore? No.
Right. Right.
Because he changed me.
Okay.
Who am I after? I don't know, because I don't fit into the world the way that it is. And I had to find my place again. And I thought, you know, I want to help people. I want to help other kids like Ryker. I want to, you know, help their moms be a voice.
Okay.
I want to help them get things that they need with services. And so after a little time healing, I come back to Spark and said, how can I, what can I do? You know, I do want to help here. And, you know, I belonged here for a really long time with the people.
Right.
They make you feel special, you know, they make you feel supported, and I had that here. So what's funny is there's a story about our communication with Ryker started with a Spark Christmas toy.
Okay.
So one of the things is like, well, help us do our Christmas event.
Mm-hmm.
So we did that, and it was amazing, you know, to get to see other kids that for the first time, you know, their parents are going to get to experience that. Wow, my kid can play.
Right.
You know, because out of all the sad memories, I had so many happy ones with Ryker, just sitting and playing with those little adaptive toys.
Right.
You know, after running to the Walmart and trying to find Christmas toys and Easter and birthday toys and coming up empty. You know, it's limited. It's very limited on what they have. So I became a part of Spark's Toy Tech program. And then that led to working with pediatrics department and trying to start up pediatric volunteer coordinator. So to coordinate other volunteers to kind of help us with our pediatric program that have a little experience, other moms like me that have a passion to make a difference in this world for our kids, for our community. A lot of people are squeamish and a little scared when it comes to children that have trachs or in wheelchairs or, you know, different types of disabilities that can be a little intimidating when you don't understand.
Right.
I'm not. I see the kid. So I get to have moms come in here and be support.
Right.
Hey, what can we do to help you? What is the need?
Great.
You know, we had a little girl that was going to be going to Vanderbilt, and she had a favorite toy. That's her comfort toy. This toy gets, you know, Band-Aids and shots and all the things, right? She quit working. She's loved on her very well for several years. We had our other volunteer, Jim, fix that. And, you know, because there's importance. And we couldn't find another Lammy, so we fixed that one. There was importance in taking the time to make sure that little girl had that toy instead of saying, I'm sorry, we just don't have it.
Right.
Because I understand the importance of, you know, your comfort toys and the things that you need in those kind of aspects.
Right.
And what, you know, the toys can lead to for several kids. You know, we do pediatric equipment. The process of that with insurance versus coming to us and trying it, you know, see if it works for your child.
Sure.
Doing adaptive equipment that is specialized for the child. We have a 3D printer that we can work on a few things that kind of help to, like we can make a spoon smaller. If your child has like jaw issues and maybe their mouth doesn't open as wide as another child. Or we can do things for children that are deaf. We can make things light up for them, or we can make it vibrate. The sky's the limit, and we have some really good people here that are pretty creative. That help them try to solve some problems with the pediatric community, and we're just trying to grow that a little bit.
Sure.
It's kind of where I'm at in life. I feel like I found my place here around people that are like me, moms that are like me, and they're still out there fighting for their children to get what they need.
Right.
And I just want to help with that.
That's great. Tell me a little bit about the spring event coming up.
So we have Spark Spring Fling. It is coming up on April 13th, and it's going to be a really neat event. So we have an all-inclusive playground, so everybody can play. Children can ride up the little ramps and actually, you know, play on the little planks and their swings. And so we're going to have an Easter egg hunt, an adaptive toy giveaway to the children that have mobility issues for that. For the families and the other children, we're going to do the egg hunt, and they'll get like a little prize bag that's got different little trinkets and things in there. We're going to have games. we have this really cool guy that's going to be there that's going to read about a pediatric book that he wrote towards children.
Is he super handsome?
Yeah, he is, and it's called My Daddy Takes His Legs Off.
Yeah, yeah.
He's kind of a cool guy.
He's a genius. I've met him.
Yeah, so he's going to come and actually be there with his book and
But
kind
he
of
will
talk
not
to
be in
children.
a bunny outfit.
But he won't be in a bunny
No.
outfit. We have the Sunshine Ambassadors that are supposed to come and perform, and I think that's amazing for our kids to see. It's just going to be a great event. You know, it's a chance for us to work with our community and celebrate them.
And if somebody wants to register to go to this little party, they call up for Smart, what do they do?
They can. So on Facebook, we have the information on our Facebook page. And my email address is in there for them to just kind of send me, hey, we want to come. And some of their information, and I'll send them registration form to fill out. They can always call me at Spark, and I'm pretty good about calling people right back. And anything else they need, you know, if there's equipment, adaptation needs, anything with pediatrics, it's worth trying to see what we can do. Give us a call, you know. Definitely a program that we're really gearing up for 2024 is to do a lot more with pediatrics.
Well, I wanted to do this show because I was extremely impressed with your relationship with Ryker, and maybe equally as impressed with how you've moved into more of an active role now, so that other moms who may have been where you were can get some help. I appreciate what you're doing in the community, and I expect great things from you. And I really
honor Ryker, you know, that's the thing. He's gone, but what he taught me shouldn't just be in vain. It should be used to help others. You know,
absolutely.
It's a way to keep his memory alive. There was a purpose in his life, and that's to pay it forward.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you for being here with me.
Thank you, Brent.
You're very welcome. And I look forward to coming to the Easter event, and I'll be reading books, and if you want one, I might sell you one. I won't give it to you, but I might sell you one. But anyway, I appreciate you being here, Julie. Thank you. Thank you for joining us here on Harmon Speaks. This is our 99th show. We're going to do one more, and then I'm going to flee to another part of the world for a few weeks, and then we'll start back again. But I'm not going anywhere. I'm just kidding. I'm too broke. But please join us. I think we're going to do another show next week. If not, hit the notification bell and you'll know when we come out. Please subscribe and like if you haven't. Please tell your friends that there are people out here who will help you if you need some help. And let's live our lives. Thank you. Good night.